Welcome everyone, you're watching my EDU101 multimedia presentation and my name is Alice. Today we'll be speaking about the difference between traditional education. So my personal experience, just briefly, here is a photo of me in prep. I went through the traditional education system. I'm doing my homework currently here where I brought a bear home and I did daily experiences for a week. I found the school system quite challenging and frustrating. I think there's better ways of teaching content than just having a teacher indirectly put you down because they're smarter than you and they're not really getting on your level. And greatly, I was encouraged by most teachers to pursue my dreams of being a writer and doing what I love, even though the content taught wasn't necessarily what I loved. So traditional education, we're looking for those older teachers. It doesn't have to be very old. It's usually very significantly older than the kids, putting rules of conduct, quote by Dewey, of the mature person upon the young. So they're putting what they know and trying to gauge to that younger audience. Teachers are the organs which pupils are brought into effective connection with the material. There's less collaboration, exams, quizzes, assessments, so lots of paperwork, and children and the adult will always exist. So there's always a difference between the children and the adult. Okay, for progressive education, more free-range topics, not a required curriculum, allowing students to roam around the space, timeouts or frequent breaks allowed. These schools take advice from community boards and have more control than public schools. That's by Proctor and Ciprocaya. I'm very much saying that wrong. Innovative, finding new ways to teach content. So definitely getting out of that boxed-in classroom and trying to reveal each child's specific, strengths and capabilities and any gaps in achievement that may benefit from additional early. Progressive education in the real world. So a good example I brought in Finland, and they have done a really big revamp, I guess you could say, after the crash of Nokia. There we go. I'm so revealing my age. And the 2008 recession. So that was when I was very, very young. Tens of thousands of visitors have traveled to see the country to see how to improve their own schools, because it's definitely a different way of bringing in more focalization of how a kid can better themselves by focusing what they like. Their schools are required to design this is what I'm talking about, design at least 1 week-long project for all the students that is indisputably and based on the students' interests. So definitely encouraging more education, bringing out what they care about. Even though it's a myth that homework isn't given, the workload is significantly less uptight than the West, which I'll bring into in a second, so Australian curriculum. Teachers are also encouraged to experiment with teaching techniques to see what best suits their class. So it's more quite literally, who is being shot out of this type of education style? The result of is a society which is well educated and they're not held back by their educational background. So they're not saying, oh, I'm poor, I can't access education. There's more of a, I can find education regardless of what I know. There's always that excitement to learn more. Statistically, there's less anxiety to be themselves and to question things. Emphasis on personal relationships in order to build healthy individuals who learn together in a community to best become flexible thinkers and independent self. So traditional education in the real world, we've got Australia where kids have to raise their hand to speak. The teachers, the main interest in the sense that they are bringing what the kids should learn, not really engaging what the kids want to learn. It's must listen to me, I'm teaching the class. Even though you can't have adults without children, they are a stage of life, one we mature out of in our own way to become fully grown. Okay, so who's expected to come out of traditional education? Hard workers, think of the industrial age, the aim to keep the economy strong, an educational aim to prepare all children so that they will not have to do much work, they can take tasks and go for it. Now for the similarities. Children require support to learn about navigation, collaboration, problem solving, conflict resolution, and listening to one another. That's really, really emphasized in both traditional and progressive. There's care about the students. It may be shown differently. Both have been created to cater for types of people they may benefit, and the aim is to educate, teach students something. And you'll notice with my reference list, there is no credit to any of the imagery because they're all my own and my personal album as well.